It seemed like for probably 8 or 10 years at least after Desert Storm, there was this cycle. I guess you could equate it to living in Alaska in the winter, and you have so many months of no sun, and that's where my mind was, where I would go through a lot of months where I just felt like I didn't count. I just felt I was a nobody. I had no esteem. Everything I did was a failure. And it was probably 6 months later that I felt that I was 10 foot tall and bulletproof and invincible, and I could make a job change, and I could do just about anything that was put in front of me. And we didn't recognize these cycles as being anything other than just life. I woke up one morning and I didn't know what I needed to do. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what I should do. My mind was just racing about 100 miles an hour with all kinds of really stupid, crazy thoughts. And the only thing I could come up with, the only solution that I could come up with in my own mind at that point was that here I was in North Carolina and I was supposed to be out in California. And when I got out to California, that was the end of it. I was to end my life. So I followed that theme that morning. Instead of going to work, I got on my clothes, I packed up a small bag, I hopped in the car and started driving to California. I drove straight for 36 hours. I stopped just before the Great Divide on the other side of Denver. I couldn't go any further. I just knew that if I crossed that Great Divide, there was no coming back. But as I was driving, I was crying so hard I couldn't go any further. I had to stop, pull over, wipe my eyes, and just wail. I didn't know what was going on. Now I'm 1,700 miles away from my family. Just lost. Didn't know what to do. So I went to a phone and I called my wife. I'd been gone for 2.5 days. She didn't know what was going on. Her and my son flew out to Denver the next day, got me. We drove back to North Carolina and got in the hospital. Psychiatric for help. And that was tough to be in that state and admit that something was wrong. I'm going to have to say that I was really in denial in one breath to say, what? A mental illness? Depression? Bipolar? No, that can't be me. But then in the other side of me was thinking, if there's a name for it, then somebody knows about what I've been dealing with. I've been struggling with this for so many years. Me, my wife, my family, my friends, not knowing, not having a clue. If God would have spoke to me, or in this case, if I would have listened, I think he would have said or did say, Ted, there's hope. There's hope in my son Jesus. And there's hope in knowing that life doesn't have to be this way. That there is a way through this. I'm Ted Thomas, and this is my Kinetic.